Hello, this is Moses Port, executive producer of Community. Welcome to the commentary for Herstory of Dance, episode 407.
And I am Tristram Shapiro, director of this episode. And to my right is
Danny Pudi. Hi. I'm wearing a dinosaur.
And Jack Kokoda, writer of this episode.
What the hell is wrong with
What's up, everybody?
Look at this. This is a triumph for Jim Rash and one of his costumes.
Yes.
And
how long did that take to spray him down?
It took a long time. We even did camera tests on this. We did makeup tests on this to try and make it as monochromatic.
Right.
That means kind of black and white, I think, doesn't it? As possible. And I think it did a great job.
And this is actually the first time that I'm watching this. I don't know about some of the rest of you in here.
Is this the first time you're watching any episode from any season?
The first time I've seen our show, Community.
Great.
I didn't know it actually made it on air. So.
It's rather good, isn't it?
And by the way, it's a pretty funny show. It's really insightful. This is February 12th, 2013. So I do hope this episode airs, knowing our show and its history. I'm hopeful.
This was so weird to see Jim Rash in person. The makeup was like bizarre seeing him.
Yeah, because it looks like it was done in post because
it does.
But it's all it was in real life. And if you ever saw him, like there was one time I was watching the monitor and he was behind Joel and it just looked like a horror film because Joel didn't know he was there. And there was just this like terrifying black and white monster.
He was like a walking hologram.
He really
was bizarre.
He was our little ghost. So this is the 7th episode of the season. I really like the storylines in this episode. I think it was kind of a fun twist.
It's a big episode for Arbit.
But it was a nice growth episode, I thought, which was really cool.
By the way, this episode, there was a version of this where it wasn't just Sadie Hawkins. It was also a Daryl Dawkins dance.
No.
There was a point in which there were two dances, and one was going to be a Sadie Hawkins dance and a Daryl Dawkins, only because they sounded alike. Was there any other?
No, we just we fell in love with confusing Sadie Hawkins and Sophie B. Hawkins in the room. And then there was a time where it was a reverse Sadie Hawkins, so it just became a regular dance. And then it became Sadie Hawkins, Daryl Dawkins, and those would be the two dances. And
so would there be basketball rings? Everyone's like slamming them and breaking the glass.
It would be the theme of Sophie B. Hawkins on one side, and then basketball backboards being broken. And for some reason, the dean in his head got it into his head that he couldn't allow those two to see each other. He thought that Sophie B. Hawkins and Daryl Dawkins had a rivalry, so he's also juggling and trying to keep them from finding out that there's the other dance. And that was just a tad too much.
It would be we could set up our whole Die Hard thing with all the grass on the floor. Sorry, guys, that's bad.
I love that little dance that Gillian does.
She's got a lot of those.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yes.
Now, how much discussion did you guys do in the room about how mean Jeff was going to be to Britta in this episode?
We went back. Yeah, we were,
because there's a fine line between how, I think we got it right. I think we did get it right. But I just was interested to know in the room how.
Well, it needed to be far enough to motivate her to want to do two dances.
Yeah.
He had to push her a little bit. And the thing I like about this episode too is, it's furthering the idea of Britta-ing something. I love that she does take it back. That is,
but given episode 5. I can't remember what our air order is, but because she's helped her out with his dad and.
Did you guys know Sophie B. Hawkins? Were you fans of Sophie B. Hawkins prior to this episode?
I like those two songs.
But it wasn't like this was like everyone personally knew her or anything like that. Okay.
No, but it did work out that she happened to be doing a play in Los Angeles.
Oh my god,
at the same time. Literally,
she's doing a
blocks
one-woman
away
show
from...
for what's the
Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin, which I was desperate to see. I really wanted to see that.
And she was absolutely lovely and super nice. And there are a couple jokes in here that sort of poke fun at Sophie B. Hawkins, but we were not trying to make fun of Sophie B. Hawkins it was you know, they were sort of making fun of other people in
Right.
the episode or the 90s, but we are fans of Sophie B. Hawkins. And I was worried when I saw this if there are too many Sophie B. Hawkins jokes. That was not our intent at all
Right.
to
Yeah.
mock her.
I like Chevy's t-shirt there.
This was a really funny little sequence for
Yeah.
Chevy
Yeah.
with the whole email, and
Oh God, yeah.
that was very good. And he actually,
Kind of makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
He was good this
he did
day.
it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's based on a real thing that someone told me he said about his email.
Is
where
that true? Really?
I think Donald
He couldn't get his
some-
email because
Yeah.
he wasn't at the right computer.
It was in Connecticut.
We've
His
Yeah.
talked to
email-
him a few times about his scripts and how he gets them, because we get our scripts emailed to us, and we told him, like, he's like, I didn't never got a script, and he was like, oh, well, we emailed it to you, and he's like, well, my email's in New York, and so
That's so funny. So that little shot of Chang that we did, because of everybody's schedule, Ken was off making Hangover 3, and we couldn't ever get,
there's
you
Wendy.
know,
She's
difficult to
awesome.
get everybody in
Mhm.
the room together.
Yeah, a lot of people are busy this year.
Mm.
Like, this was one of my favorite little things to sit there and watch. And we eventually got it, but it took a little while to do the whole choreography here.
Yes.
Yes, because she's literally carrying a Razor scooter in her backpack,
Mhm.
Yeah.
trying to get that to swing out and
Well,
land.
James, our prop master, did an amazing
Yes.
job at getting this together in the backpack. And but I
love
think
your
there'll
reaction
be
there.
Yeah.
in the blooper reel. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of.
And there was originally she had a hamburger backpack because
Oh,
there was a
that's
joke.
right.
Because Donald had a joke, or Troy
Right.
has a line where he's like, "$1 to donuts." I bet that girl has a hamburger phone.
Oh, that was a
'Cause,
hamburger.
You know, she's like a manic
That's
pixie dream girl type, and then she turns around, has a hamburger backpack,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Close enough," but it was huge to make a hamburger backpack that fit a scooter.
How much debate was there about what kind of girl would be interested in Abed through Andy's eyes? Did you guys kind of go back and forth on that a lot?
I think for Annie, we thought immediately like she'll know that Abed's into movies and stuff, and she'll watch the movies with a manic pixie dream girl in it, where it's a guy that's like, sort of in a shell, and this quirky wild girl draws him out, because those are always those types.
And the character of Kat, I remember we pretty much came close to shooting the first draft of what Jack came in with. This, he came off, created the two characters. This was pretty close to what we ended up shooting.
I did.
I will say the actress is, and I mean this the most loving way, is a total whack job. There's something very argumentative life.
To go into back to our familiar territory, dances.
Yes.
We wanted to balance the Sophie B. Hawkins portion and the Sadie Hawkins portion. The intention was to have half of it, which looked like it was stuck in the mid 90s kind of adult alternative world, but it was we didn't go far enough with that.
This is great. I always love this idea of disguise, and there's Brie Larson, who was fantastic.
Oh my God, you
Yeah,
guys are
she
so
was-
good together.
She is super sweet and very funny and talented.
I
And
am
we
a
should
fan.
say Kristen
And
Henry
Kristen
King
was
was doing a
amazing.
great job as
Mhm.
Jessica. We just saw.
There's
in
a
the
lot of
previous.
great, actors in this episode. Guests who kind of popped in and fit into our crazy world.
So we're not implying that that's what Sophie B. Hawkins does. That was a Jeff being rude. So yeah, this was an example of where we were deciding how mean. And we
Right.
thought that this was, later we had to make a prank call where he says, Sophie B. Hawkins, like, is Sophie B. Hawkins playing your dance, or you want her to play your dance? And she says, yes. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, Sophie B. Hawkins is dead. And Britta freaks out, and then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking of Sadie Hawkins or Susan B. Anthony. I always get those two confused because I'm a crazy person that can't admit their mistakes.
That was great. I've always wanted to carry that in my pocket.
That was actually from an episode of Blind Date or whatever that show was, where someone brought. I remember seeing it. Whatever Roger Lodge hosted.
An artichoke? Someone brought.
Yeah, someone brought an artichoke, and the girl thought it was so artsy. And I was just like, I remember watching that and like cringing at just how.
But where did the accent come from?
Thanks,
Oh,
governor.
That was just her being a wacky.
What did you think?
Wacky type.
What did you think about that
So what do you
accent,
mean by
Tristram?
that?
Are you offended by that?
Just
I'm
anyone
very
has,
offended
You know,
by
that accent is.
As our resident Brit, though, it's pretty good, though, isn't it?
It was okay.
Does anybody say governor anymore? Do the people?
Only prisoners who are in prison talking to the chief warden. They call him governor.
I gotta say, in the
That's
back
where
when
that
you
comes
watch,
from.
this is not an easy. We shoot this without music, so everyone continued
Yes.
to dance and dance and dance for an entire evening. It's not easy.
By the way, I really love this jacket. When I came in for wardrobe and they put this on me, I was like, you guys ain't getting this one back. That's great. I never got to see that picture. That's hilarious. Which dance would you guys rather go to? Sadie B. Hawkins or Sophie B. Hawkins?
I think the Sophie B. Hawkins. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
Sophie B.
my.
Hawkins one.
I think so too. There's not enough pressure to succeed in those dance moves too. You know what I mean?
Can you do those dance moves?
I could do those. You reading the Bible?
No spoilers. I'm really hoping that things turn around.
That's great.
We had so much fun with Brie, didn't we?
We really did.
It was really late shooting these scenes.
Yeah, and
This is the case.
I think she had to come back an extra day that she wasn't scheduled for.
That's
and-
right. She had to come on that Friday because we didn't get to finish. But she was such a trooper, so game to do anything,
Mhm.
and just really fun. As you can tell, we're fans.
So yeah, since this one hasn't aired yet, so I'll just admit I'm a little
Me
little
too.
trepidation about whether people will buy the Abed romance storyline. I think Danny and Bree did a great job. That is one thing, especially as a new writer, that I'm concerned about.
Yeah,
They'd
it's
be like,
tricky because
they
it's like, how do you?
destroyed-
Yeah.
Why did you turn this into a romantic?
But I think
Cutesy
I
show.
think we played it well in terms of not fully going there, but at least
Yeah,
embracing certain aspects of the personality of Abed that would be romantic to him.
Yeah,
you know?
that it's not.
I know that was hard for me to kind of figure out, like how. First of all, it's going to take a very specific point of view from a girl to be
Exactly, yeah, and you
So-
don't want it to be too schmaltzy. You don't,
Right.
you want it to be earned.
Yeah.
Also, I could watch Jim Rash as Dean Pelton be mean to Britta all day.
Yeah, that is something that's from the beginning. Dean has always had a really, pretty, a big conflict with Britta. I don't know why.
He's so irritated with her.
He's always been
Mostly-
Britta.
right? Because of whatever her history is with Jeff. I'm assuming.
Oh, there it is. Distracted by bubbles. Who isn't distracted by bubbles?
Star Wars movies.
Right. Oh.
Zap! Someone finally did it.
Yeah, I know. Someone
finally had
did
to
it.
take
Someone.
Now this little bit was you came up with that on the day, didn't you, Moses?
yeah. This I love his performance on this joke.
Yeah, and this is a credit to Gillian because there was a really long monologue from Chevy where he talks about the Pemsey twins who tried to invent this thing, and she was like, I think we should go with something shorter here. And she did it in like the nicest way. And
Yeah.
I think Moses came up with Bernie Madoff.
Which was
Made-
really
Oh,
funny.
that's great.
And so yeah, you can see that's where the two dances, the line of
converge.
demarcation.
It's the Greenwich line.
Now there's
Yeah.
there was a version of this joke where neither one of them realize what's going on, which I also enjoyed a great deal. They just know something odd has happened and they walk away.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
I think this actually that very familiar trope of romantic comedies. I think Danny and Bree did a great job of making that look believable. The bump
Yeah.
dropping
Right.
paper.
It's
Well,
so tricky
I'm
because
so worried on the
it's-
day
I know. I remember we
that it
were
was
going
just-
back and forth about it for a while because it's how do you make bumping into each other natural. It's really hard.
I mean, it's really difficult, isn't it? But I think we just get away.
Did we get it? What do you
I
think?
think we get away with it. Yeah.
Okay. I know that was tricky.
Uh-oh. Did you get away with this?
There's Donald with the cups. The first time he did that behind them, I think I erupted.
And I wonder if that storyline comes through. I think we had to take a little bit away for time
with Donald's antics.
Yeah, with Troy really trying to get antics, and then we actually had to cut something really nice with Sophie B at the end, where Troy wants to have fun sitcom antics throughout, and at the end, Sophie says, "My ex-boyfriend's in the audience. Will you pretend to be my boyfriend?"
Oh, there's Annie.
Yes, this is Annie Mevin. She's a writer on staff.
Making her debut, right?
Yeah.
On-camera debut.
Whose water wings are these?
It was so tough for me to play, being distracted by getting, fully embracing this whole, ruse or tropes of both dances, but at the same time falling into this girl. I don't know. I definitely struggled with that in this episode. I hope I got it, but
You did, for what it's worth. You did a great job.
I hope so. Forgive me, audience, if I didn't.
But if he did,
If he
didn't blame him and not the writer of the.
This is one of those things where I'm always amazed that when you, with whatever you do, sometimes there's a fine line between it could be too silly, it could be too arch, and you always infuse it. Forgive me if I go off the air a little bit. You always infuse it with such soul. I'm always so impressed with Danny's performance. Like whatever that X factor is to this role, how you bring it to life, it always feels a little different.
Thanks, Moses. Tristram?
Absolutely no comment.
What is the nature of hope?
Sophie's not coming, guys.
Committing to the bit. That is one of my favorite things about Britta. She will commit so hard. Gillian's so great at that. And then it happened.
This is, a moment in television history. She made it. She is on our show. Sophie B. Hawkins.
It really was a special day hanging out with Sophie. She's so like earthy, and like we were talking about literally parenting strategies because I'm a new father and she's got like a 3-year-old or something, and she was talking to me just about how to be like calm with your child, and like it was just I loved her. She was awesome. By the way, I remember the first time I heard this song, 6th grade, I think, 6th or 7th grade. I loved it. I was on vacation in Florida. I had a crush on this girl. We were at the pool in Orlando. Never happened. Nothing happened, guys. Nothing happened.
Did you try and make a move? What happened?
In my mind, I was making a lot of moves, but I didn't act any of them. It's kind of fun, though. I've always wanted to have this moment in a movie or a show, so.
I have something to say. There was a girl here tonight. Her name was Rachel. I met her and it was very pleasant. And I made a mistake.
Look at Sophie's in the moment.
Remember when she kept trying to take the mic from me? Like she wouldn't let me finish the monologue a couple times.
That was what she did stand very
Right?
close to you at points.
Yay!
She came back. She heard that.
You came back.
That was pretty embarrassing. I had to.
It was. But I'm glad I did it.
My flower's starting to droop a little bit. Sorry, guys.
I would like that.
Do you want to pretend like you're just going out with me on a bet?
Oh, I'd like that very much.
Really don't know how Daryl Dawkins would have fit in.
Yeah. Now that I see it.
Yes,
like-
I don't think there's any room for him.
I prefer as I lay me down.
Me too.
I believe that was a Danny improvised line. That you
Yeah.
came up with that. And I
Which
thought it was so.
Really works.
Oh,
I
good.
thought it was terrific. Nice.
I think we added that like another little, like, which song would you like better? I think As I Let Me Down, I'd prefer personally.
A wise old man was the official supplier of moist towelettes.
I wish we had seen the Dean amulet.
1997, 1999.
I knew it. You did this? But why?
Because
There's something about our dances, though, that does make me kind of just feel warm. Every time we're in a
Yeah.
dance, it
Oh,
brings our
yeah.
study group together in such a weird, it brings back all those, like, wallflower, weird social interaction feelings of a kid that I think all of our characters still have.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I love that
You know?
all these Greendale is definitely a throwback to not high school. It's junior high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the dance episodes. I was excited when I got the.
There it is.
I love how unabashedly sweet this ending is.
Yeah.
When I saw the editor's cut for the first time, this really did leave a lump in my throat. I don't mind. I'm big enough to admit that to you guys.
Sounding sarcastic, but I assure you, this one is as earnest as they come. Congratulations on an awesome day.
Jeff on his phone. What did Jeff do before he was on his phone?
Right.
These are those great moments where we have to sort of act and not do anything, which I always love. Looking at our study group, just kind of hang out and dance.
This I pray that you hold me dear.
I actually went out and bought one of those lamps after this episode. That's the dullest thing I could ever say.
I'm going to leave you with that final thought, viewer.
Yeah. No, there's more. There's the tag.
Oh, yeah. I was on set, and we had a different tag, and the writer's room came up with this one, which I thought was so much better than what was originally.
I love this.
Okay, can you do one where you wish I was Batman?
What was the thing we debated about that we didn't do in the end that I was really...
That the Dean would hold up, give her a Jeff Winger mask.
Oh, that's right.
And I
That's
thought,
my God, right.
Yeah,
and I was,
gosh,
you know,
I must have been deranged.
I
that
think
day.
you just have to have a 1% chance that the Dean's, whatever his obsession with Jeff is, it's not purely.
Yeah, this works so much better.
You know, it's just a weird.
Yay. Thanks, everybody.